Our first inductee is Dr. Renso Caporali. Dr. Caporali is a former Long Islander who has retired with his wife to live outside of Buffalo, New York. Now we are complaining about how cold, icy, and snowy it has been here, but it does not compare to what Renso has in Buffalo. Single digits with a wind chill factor dropping the temperatures into negative numbers and snow accumulation between 80 and 150 inches. Unfortunately, Renso and his wife could not make the event this evening. Here to receive the award, they couldn't get past the snow. They needed another sled. Here to receive the award on Renso's behalf is Rick Trotter. Rick, you want to come up for a minute? Rick is the president of Trotter Associates, consultants to government and industry, has extensive senior level corporate and management consulting experience in business development, strategic planning, and technology management. In addition, since 2001, Mr. Trotter has served as chair of the Federal Laboratory Consortium National Advisory Council, where he leads a team of executives who provide recommendations to help commercialize technologies developed in federal laboratories. Prior to his founding of Trotter Associates, he was corporate director of development and resources for Grumman Corp., where he reported to the office of the chairman and managed all research and development proposal sources. Rick has been a very valued member of the Long Island Technology Hall of Fame Steering and Nominating Committee. Rick? Thank
you. Dr. Caporali could not attend today's ceremony. He and his wife, Norma, live in western New York near Buffalo, where they grew up. Traveling is difficult, especially with the weather at this time of the year. When I spoke to him last week, he commented that there was a pile of snow 15 feet high near his driveway. He was most appreciative of this award and honored to accept it. I've been asked to make a few comments on his behalf. He sent a brief note, which I will read later. Grumman was a huge part of the technical and economic fabric of Long Island, and there have been a number of former Grumman executives who have been honored by these ceremonies, including Leroy Grumman, Tom Kelly, Joe Gavin, Grant Hedrick, Bob Klein, George Skurla, and now Dr. Renso Caporali. I spent 28 years at Grumman, worked for the vice chairman of development, and with the exception of Leroy Grumman, I knew them all. Cappy, as he was referred to by all who knew him, had an exceptional list of accomplishments, too numerous to list here. He earned several advanced degrees, including a PhD in aeronautical engineering from Princeton. In 1992, Business Week magazine described him as the most educated CEO in the country. In addition to these credentials, he was smart, articulate, and personable. During a 35-year career at Grumman, he held positions of increasing responsibility, including Director of Flight Test, Director of Design Engineering, Director of Advanced Systems, President of Aircraft Systems Division, Vice Chairman of Corporate Technology, and CEO from 1990 to 1994. He was a major contributor to the development of the F-14 Tomcat and has been called the father of the F-14, which for many years was the premier fighter for the U.S. Navy and a main source of income for Grumman. He was also active outside of Grumman, having been chairman of the Aerospace Industries Association, a fellow of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, a member of the National Academy of Engineering. He also served on the Board of Trustees at Clarkson University, where he received his undergraduate and one of his master's degrees in engineering. Grumman had a skilled workforce, a unique non-union culture in the aerospace industry, and played a significant role in the development of Long Island. For many years, it was the largest employer, and its accomplishments were a source of pride for all who live here. From helping to win World War II in the Pacific, to putting a man on the moon, to building some of the world's most sophisticated attack, fighter, electronic countermeasures, and surveillance military aircraft. During World War II, Vice Admiral McCain, grandfather of Senator John McCain, commented, "The name Grumman on a plane is like sterling on silver." Grumman did its best to live up to that endorsement. Cappy was a product of that culture and rose to the top of the company. During his time as Grumman CEO, the aerospace industry was going through a significant downsizing and consolidation. With the cancellation of the F-14 production program, which Cappy vigorously fought, Grumman could not continue as a prime aircraft manufacturer, and a merger or acquisition was needed. In 1994, Grumman was acquired by Northrop. After Cappy left Grumman, he worked for Raytheon as Senior Vice President for Development and later also Chief Engineer. He retired from Raytheon in 1998 and moved back to Western New York. While I was doing some consulting work for the Defense Department, I met with him at Raytheon and asked him why he didn't just retire when he left Grumman. In his usual unassuming manner, he said, "You need a good reason to get up in the morning." Last week I called him and we talked about the old days at Grumman, and both agreed that one thing we missed was being able to take the Gulfstream aircraft from the Grumman runway, avoiding commercial flights. I promised him I'd keep these comments brief, and I'll close by reading a letter he wrote to Larry Waldman. Dear Mr. Waldman, I wish to thank you and the other members of the Nomination and Award Steering Committee for selecting me for the Long Island Technology Hall of Fame. Also, my special thanks to Mr. Rick Trotter, who I understand suggested that I be considered. I'm honored to accept. It is an understatement to state that the honor was totally unexpected, particularly as it has been nearly 20 years since my wife Norma and I left the area. Please pass on my congratulations to Mr. Alan Alda, Dr. Peter Paul, and Mr. Scott Abrams. Again, I thank you and hope that all present at the ceremony enjoy what I'm sure will be a grand party. Very truly yours, Renso Caporali. Thank you.
Well, as Rick said, Cappy it may have come as an unexpected honor to him, but it was not undeserved. It was very well deserved, as you've heard that. Grumman and Long Island have moved forward hand in hand for a long period of time, and we're honored to be able to honor him, and hopefully we'll see him again on Long Island when the weather is better and there aren't 15 inches of snow.